Hey y'all, that's what we say in the South. Well, I'm headed out into a beautiful day, and as you can probably tell, I don't know, I have kind of a sexy voice today. Gosh, that's loud. Not my voice, them. I rarely get sick. My daughter laughs at me. She says, "Oh, you get sick. You just don't, give into it, whatever." I rarely get sick, but apparently my little 5-year-old twins like to grab your lips and kiss you. And they've all been gravelly, and apparently they have shared their abundance of cooties with me. So I'm dealing with that today. So I'll probably be coughing during this one. But anyway, it's a beautiful day here in South Haven, Mississippi. I am running 101 errands today, dropping off some money from the last estate. It was a really good one, as it turned out. It was kind of funny because she had some really nice stuff, Asian inspired, all that kind of stuff. And I'll probably put up a video concerning that estate, or at least parts of it, or maybe tack it on to the end of this. Maybe that'd probably be a good idea. I didn't do a whole lot of filming because we were just so busy, but I really kind of didn't expect it. We didn't have a lot of views on the estatesales.net ad, and it shows statistics and things on there, so I can kind of know how many views there are. When I put the ads up, we only had about 2 weeks to advertise because it was one of those that I had to do really fast. And so I got in there and I processed it all myself. I didn't even take a staff in on that one. She had a very neat home. The homeowner's daughter had moved her into assisted care about 2 months ago, something like that, and the daughter was handling everything. It was a very funny dynamic going on with the family that I won't get into. All of them have dynamics of some sort, and you have to deal with, sentiment, emotions, all of those kind of things. That's part of what I do as an estate liquidator. But this is one where baby sister was taking care of everything, her mom, but not everybody else that was in the mix there appreciated some of the decisions she was making, although as an unbiased bystander I can say that she made some really excellent decisions. She got this done pretty fast. Today I'm out running errands and things, and I've cut loose the estate at this point. All but the payments have been made to her. I let my checks go through for about a week, make sure that we don't have any bounce backs and all of that. But the keys and all of that have been turned over to her, and the estate was turned back over to her, and we sold 90% of the furniture that was in it. And she had a lot of home decor and things like that that were like the upgraded Asian inspired, like I said, but it was really, really nice stuff. So, that kind of narrows your field down. A lot of people don't have any Asian inspired anything, although interior designers or decorators will tell you need to have at least one piece of Asian inspired artwork or something like that in every room. That's supposed to still be the going thing. I don't know if it is or not, but anyway. But she had some really nice stuff, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of views. I had like 500 views about 3 days before the sale, and I was getting concerned because people view it multiple times, and if I had 500 views, I could depend on around 1% of that amount in physical people showing up for the sale, and that wasn't going to be good. We had to get it cleaned out that weekend. And I was not doing a clean out, per se. I wasn't having a trash out crew come in or anything like that. I stepped out of the middle of that so that the estate could make more money, and I didn't have to work on such a tight time frame on this one. Usually I have 10 days after, and I didn't. we had the sale over Saturday and Sunday. Today is Tuesday following that, and she has a moving crew in there that I suggested to her, and they are trashing out the house and taking some things to a consignment shop I told her about, and some other things to donation at Salvation Army. And she's got them doing all of that with one box truck. So she's very organized, so she should be able to get it done. And then they closed the house on Thursday, and it's immediate possession. So it was kind of bam, bam, bam. We had to all get it done, all work our jobs. So when the extended family members stepped in and started saying that they wanted a family night and come up there and sell them stuff and all this, I hesitated, because usually that has to be done early on. There were a few family members, the immediate family members, other two siblings, well, one sibling, that had taken some things and all of this. The other sibling had been cut out of the will years ago. And so we were dealing with that dynamic. That was fun. But she was the one with the pocketbook, and I finally told the youngest daughter that was the executor of all of this, and she's got power of attorney, and she can do what she wants to do, and Mom's probably going to have a hissy fit if she ever finds out that we sold things to the daughter that was cut out. But I was only doing what I was told to do. But I just told the daughter, I said, her money's as green as everybody else, so let's get them in there and let's get this stuff sold. And she agreed, and that's what we did. And they bought almost $2,000 worth of stuff in one night, in about probably 40 minutes of shopping, because of course they knew what Mom had. So that was a lot of the furniture went out then, and then the balance of the furniture went out to a buyout vendor that I had come up, and he purchased just certain things on the second day, and we just ended up with a really, really good crowd. We probably had around 250 people to come through total. Had a lot of people on Sunday, which kind of surprised me. It was slow starting on Saturday, but people were probably still out at yard sales and stuff, so that's pretty common. But anyway, so we got that one. Technically, that one's wrapped up. I've just got to send her a check from escrow next week once everything goes through, and that'll be a wrap on that one. And I always request a referral letter, and she's already told me. I didn't even request it yet. She told me that she would refer me and that she'd be glad to write one for my portfolio or whatever, so that'll be a cool deal. Hopefully everything goes well for her on her end today. After I left there, I did a few things at the upcoming estate that I've got. It's going to be a cool one. It is a small house in Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is probably about 20 minutes from me. It might as well be a suburb of Memphis, because all of these little towns in North Mississippi are just over the line, and it all looks like one big, subdivision or happy family or whatever. And anyway, it's over there, and these are people that when I owned my cleaning company all those years ago, I was actually their dedicated cleaner. I was the person that cleaned their house, myself and my daughter. So that was early on. I've probably known them close to 20 years. And they have become friends, especially the wife. And she knows what I do because she's on my Facebook and I'm on hers. And anyway, so that's how I got this one. Word of mouth is how I get most of mine these days. Not always, but I don't run any paid ads or anything like that. I don't have to do that anymore. In fact, I never did to begin with. I didn't even run paid ads on my cleaning company much. Word of mouth is always better. So they called me up, and I went about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that, and I walked through. And it's so funny to me because the house that I just finished up with, it was a huge house in Germantown, almost 5,000 square feet, which is huge for here. And it had some nice modern-ish things and stuff like that, but as far as collectibles and things that were really attractive or unique or something like that. It didn't have any of those type of items. This little old house that I'm about to do is it's an upstairs, downstairs. It's maybe 1,600 square feet altogether, maybe a little bit more. Well, sorry about that. That was technical difficulties for a minute. The camera fell. I knew it was going to. Rosie was bouncing around too much. So anyway, I don't know where I lost you, but I had gone into the garage and I had seen that these people had a Saturn in there. It was a year 2000. Looked really good on the outside, and through the course of events and talking to them and all this kind of stuff, I found out that they were not going to sell the car because they didn't think they could get much for it, which probably aren't with the age of it. Only got 80,000 miles on it, and it's a 2000. So what does that tell you? And it hasn't been driven hardly any in the last 3 years, although it was driven within the last month of me looking at it, or viewing it, or whatever. So anyway, the short story was, Rosie's making all these kind of noises and things, and I've got a Montero that I bought brand new many moons ago in 2003, and I'm one of those, you know, I'm a vintage lady, I'm a junkin' lady. I drive a car until it falls apart, and then I push it another 5 miles if I can. And that's just me. I just don't put a whole lot of money into cars and things. It's a nice to have, but not a need to have. But I do need something to put junk in. And at the time that I got Rosie and took the cargo seats and all of this out of the back, I was hauling more furniture and larger items and things like that. Well, I've scaled back on that type of stuff because I don't have my store anymore, my retail shop. So I don't really need as much headroom and length and all of that, and the Montero would probably work fine. It has a little ignition problem, and I need to go on and get that fixed, a couple other things, and get it back in some running order to where it can be a second car for me for anything that wouldn't fit in a Saturn. I think I'm going to buy the Saturn because I mentioned to them, I said, I need an A to B car. If you decide that you want to sell it and you come up with a price on it, let me know. Well, they had already said that the book value on it, which I had not looked up at the time, of course, but I trust them. And I did look it up after that. It was around $1,200 for one that was in this shape. Okay, so this is the fun video, I guess. My Saturn customer, client, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'm the customer, I guess. He's my client. He called in the middle of that, and it flipped the phone off again. So this is going to be in a lot of bits and pieces. But anyway, you'll get the whole story. So we just talked on the phone. He's ready to just let me do whatever with the car. He's going to sign it over to me, do whatever. And I'm going to pay for it out of the estate. And I am extremely excited because it'll be a car that I can take my grandbabies in, and they can ride in now. And they're all excited about it. You know, it doesn't take much. They're 5 and 9. Well, 5 and 9 because I've got twins. But anyway, I'm very excited. I'm thanking God right here on the video because that's an answer to prayer. I just needed something that was an A to B car. The Saturn, I've driven a Saturn before. I bought a brand new one when they first came out. It was either the first or second batch of them that came out. And I loved mine, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to love this one too. It's funny, it looks brand new. My ex-husband checked through everything for me. I drove it down the street to where he lives, and he looked through everything, and he said that all the fluids and everything looked good, and the tires looked good, and all that kind of stuff. I knew what I was looking at, so we'll see. We'll have to come up with a name for her. I guess it's a her. All of my vehicles are hers. But poor old Rosie, she's going to get sold, I guess. Sold as is. Bells, whistles, and all. That's all right. The older I get, I make a lot of noises, too. I'll see y'all later. May tack something onto the end of this, may not, about the estate. We'll see. And I'll show you my car. Happy junking.